So guys, as predicted, the data mines that we had covered yesterday now are implemented into the game, right? So let's take a look on some of the changes and of course show them in the game. The first thing that wasn't presented by me on the data mines, Zabi did mention later after I did the video, so that's why. But it is something that got implemented, is that missiles that have kind of a larger amount of explosives will now pretty much just do more damage, right? So sometimes before, when you hit a target, of course, in test flights over here, it always kills the target, but sometimes in real battles, not enough damage would be done with a large enough missile, which normally would mean that the target would basically would die for another player sometimes, even because even though you hit the target and it did destroy a lot of things, it would just, do a weird thing where it wouldn't actually properly kill the target, right? So now that is fixed, and large amounts of explosives in missiles will create more damage. So it's kind of a buff to the amount of damage you do with larger missiles. With smaller missiles, like for example Manpad, like the Stinger, they will be doing less damage, okay? So you have to have that in mind when you consider this change, okay? Of course, what we talked about yesterday got implemented to the Gripens and the Sea Harriers. So, for example, here, if you roll the vehicle, as you see now, it doesn't have that limitation of roll, right? So if you roll the aircraft, it will stabilize itself, probably electronically, in a way that you can just keep, detecting the same target that you were detecting without having the roll of the radar, which is pretty good, actually. So as you can see, you can maintain, it's losing there, but you get the point, right? It is detecting the target and maintaining the row. It doesn't matter what row I'm doing, right? So this is pretty good. There is an interesting change now for camouflages over here in the hangar. As you can see, if you have the stat card of the camouflage, it will give you a little bit more information on what it is, the fictional thing and everything, right? So a little bit more info. I found that it's weird because when you don't have it, it will show a little bit more information, right? But when you have the camouflage, for example, let me bring the SU-33 over here, it is not appearing. So it might be fixed, soon. But as you see, it doesn't tell you the extra stuff of what it is, a fictional camouflage, just because I have it, so it's a bit weird. But at the same time, okay, doesn't matter too much. So like I said yesterday, the controllability, pretty much is the controllability, right? I mean, they say that the available angles of attack and overload have been increased, right? Basically, the maneuverability and takeoff and landing characteristics at low speeds of the Harriers got improved. This is for all Harriers pretty much, right? The first ones and the AV-8Bs, right? Of course, it is a little bit different between them, and I don't know what was that, but yeah, so you get the point, right? So it should be a little bit more maneuverable to actually do stuff in the higher angles of attack, lower airspeeds, stuff like that with the Harrier, which is pretty good. So like I said yesterday, the camera was moved backwards, right? So in the Mirages, so this is including the Mirage 3 in all variants, Mirage 5 in all variants, all the Mirage 2000s and the 4000. So the camera is a little bit back, like from what it was, right? Which is great. It does help a little bit on, especially choosing where you want to look at and trying to find the perfect position to get a shot out or something like that, right? They did that with the F-14s, MiG-29s before, and other aircraft. So it is just something that it's minor, but it does help a little bit with the gameplay with these aircraft. The engine responsiveness was improved on the F-14, just like I said it was going to be yesterday, right? So yeah, it should be a little bit better. Not by much, but yeah, the F-111s also got this. All the TF-30 users, basically, right? So it should be a little bit better. They say on the actual, post that they did that it's clarify it. But on the data mines, it is better. Okay, so a slight buff on, how much you can get these engines to be working on faster, basically, right? That's kind of the idea here. It's just faster, getting to speed, getting to those situations where you need more power, stuff like that, right? And one of the last changes, of course, there are others that I already talked about yesterday, but let's see if we can break the Rafale, man. I don't know if we can, because technically it got nerfed a bit by how much you can do turns without breaking your wings. But I don't know, I have a feeling that it doesn't, yeah, it doesn't break itself, see? I mean, maybe with a full fuel load, it turned 15G, so even though, yes, it is less than what it was before, apparently, it is still able to not break itself, and it's still going to be able to pull a lot, okay? So don't you worry. Even though technically it was a nerf, according to the data mines, this change doesn't affect as much as you might think. And even as I might thought, right? I mean, I thought this was going to actually change a little bit more of the aircraft. But to be honest, you are able to pull a little bit more, and it's done. And Zabi did say yesterday that it wouldn't like make too different because of certain stats there on the actual thing, but on the data mines. Let's see if we row and pull, maybe. No, it's fine. So yeah, pretty good. No breaking of wings. So I think the Rafale is safe, at least for now. And yeah, that's kind of it, guys. Nothing else that it's crazy. Some things that I already talked about yesterday, right? For example, the ZSU-23s, for example, losing the IFF. We have other minor things here and there that make it up to be a little bit more of a bigger update today, but doesn't matter too much. We already talked about them yesterday. These are the main ones, especially the missile one, okay? So, yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about these changes. I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment, and thank you all the patrons and members, okay? Bye, guys.